So, a call to order by the presiding officer, none other than the Supreme Minister, Nay Betsy Amumunput.
Lord, sounds Lord.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now we have arrived to the business meeting portion of this event. In a big organization such as ours, it is important that we conduct our business meeting in a smooth and orderly fashion. To do this, we have to adopt the Robert Rules of Order, which is known as the parliamentary procedure. And as what Rajiv Balbosa have stated earlier, that we are going to adopt the parliamentary procedure in conducting a meeting. And the reason being that we need to make sure that this meeting is conducted smoothly, that we are not going to spend a lot of time in discussing even just the simplest matter. We have to make sure that we are not railroading any topic that we are going to discuss. So, I'm going to give you a brief details of how this procedure is going to be properly observed. Speech limit in debate. You may speak in debate twice on the debatable motion on the same topic. Each time, you may speak for up to 10 minutes. You cannot carry or the time that you're allowed to. In other words, you are not going to speak 5 minutes now and later on you are going to speak another 5 minutes. Okay? You cannot transfer your turn to another speaker. Who gets the preference in recognition to debate? As a general rule, the chair should designate to speak or recognize the person who rises first. The person who rises first after the previous speakers has finished and sat down. And you have to stick to the subject being discussed. Your speech must be related to the motion under discussion. Debate issues, not personalities. One of the most important of the debate is the proposal, not a member. In other words, in order to prevent personal matter, you need to prevent from mentioning the person that's issuing the issue. Rather, you have to address that to the presiding officer. That's what I'm talking about. If the debate were allowed to include personal attack, it might intimidate many of the taking part of the debate who might otherwise make important points. It would certainly leave the feelings and foster personal empathy in the group, along with the debate meeting had ended and the group's decision has been made. With Robert Rules of Order, normally it is the presiding president of the organization would be the presiding officer. As mandated in our constitution and bylaws, being your Supreme Minister, I am going to preside the meeting. However, I would like to appoint a parliamentarian. The role of a parliamentarian is to ensure that the proper rules of order is being exercised, is being followed. Not that the parliamentarian has the ability to overrule the ruling. Only the presiding officer has the ability to do that. In some occasion, the presiding officer may elect to ask the advice of the parliamentarian. Parliamentarian's responsibility is solely making advice when it comes to the proper observance of the rules, Robert Rules. Okay? So, with that being said, first of all, in the absence of our keeper of the scroll, I would like to designate one of our council of elders, Sis Madeline Palason, to act on her behalf. Before I call the meeting to order for record, I would like to ask our designated secretary, keeper of the scroll rather, if we achieve or meet a quorum.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to say that all the members of the National Council composed of quorum and the members of the different chapters around constitute a quorum. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Sis Madeline. As the presiding officer, I now call the meeting to order. It's about 2:10. Now I would like to take this opportunity to do a roll call of the members of the National Council. I would like to start from my far left. We have our Deputy Supreme Minister in Mindanao, Brad Knight Ephraim Asinas. Right next to him, we have our chronicler. He's responsible in making sure that all the information is disseminated. Would like to introduce Knight Leto Pindelito Masira. To his right, I would like to introduce our internal auditor, one of our internal auditor, Knight Ronel Sudaria. Right next to him, I would like to introduce our very own keeper of the key, who's got the big responsibility in making sure that our financial matter is intact. Brothers and sisters, introducing to you Knight Roger Community. To my left, I would like to introduce one of our council of elders, Knight Aurelio Saldivar. Right next to me on my right, we have our international Deputy Supreme Minister. He's based in California, Knight Rizolo Abe. Right next to his right, we have our designated keeper of the scroll, and her current position is she's one of our council elders. She's Madeline Palazzo. Last but not least, I would like to introduce to you one of our members of the Royal Court, Knight Ruel Waga. Now the next, in your program, you have the agenda. Everybody has a copy of the program, right? You have the agenda. It is a normal procedure in a business meeting to adopt the program. Is there any addition or deletion to the presented agenda? I'm asking for the body if there's any addition. Bear in mind that once you are going to adopt this agenda, this is it, we have to stick to this. So this is now your opportunity. If you have something in your mind that you wanted to discuss or be discussed, then say so. And then we are going to table that as part of the agenda. Going once, twice, 3 times. No additional?
Other matters, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Now, I would like to hear a motion from the body to include other matters in the agenda. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt or include other matters in the agenda.
Did I hear somebody second the motion? Who seconded the motion? Will you please rise? When you make a motion, please rise. And when you second the motion, please rise as well. It has been moved and seconded. Yes, that's right. If you are going to make a motion, please rise and identify yourself. Or if you are going to second the motion, you do the same. Rise and identify yourself.
So other matters is to be confirmed of the venue of the.
Identify
I am
yourself.
Knight Sulawan from the Beta Gamma chapter of Swagan Lanao de Longpeng. And our concern is to have the final venue of the Constitutional Convention is coming in 2016.
I'm Faye Chome, Alpha Kappa Chapter, Sangonga City. I second the motion to our others matters.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that other matters would be added to the agenda. Any objection? Any discussion? None? Okay, so let's go on votation. Those who are in favor of adding other matters into our agenda, please raise your right hand. It seems like it's unanimous decision. Those who are not in favor, raise your left hand. None. Motion carried. Now, I would like to ask everybody to move a motion to adopt the agenda as being amended or being added.
Mr. Presiding Chair, before we will adopt for the agenda this afternoon, we have to carry first what are the other matters. It was not stated what are those concerns taken from the matters. Because it was moved that we will add other matters, but there is no other matter yet presented by the matter.
It is only one, we have one.
Identification
Kinoto one. Other matters from the other group.
What was that? What was that again?
The final venue of the incoming
One is to have a final venue of the Constitutional Convention this coming May 2016. Order, Mr. Chairman, I think the clarification is pangangalayan na yun pa sa order. For now, we will clarify first the other matters.
Before we will proceed, make it clear that for the other matters, you just suggest what matters to that be first discussed, so that we can go with that as a
It is to be specified. Yes, but
There was only one subject matter presented in other matters, and we have already approved it. And for duly seconded, that was being rolled by the chair. Now, I think the subject matter that he presented was about the venue for the final decision on the part of the national level as to the venue of the next Constitutional Convention comes 2016. Now, to me, this matter rests upon the decision of the National Council, not from the General Assembly. So, to avoid duplication of decisions, why not the National Council be given the blanket authority to decide or to inform us on what decisions that we have made this morning. Thank you very much.
In order for us to handle the matters specifically at this time, okay? Since this is other matter, we will discuss this one. But we do have answer to your to that specific
after
question.
the business of the day.
before that, earlier I said something about designating a parliamentarian. And I would like to designate Brad Tyrone Opiso to be the parliamentarian. And I would like to invite you to be seated here, presidential table, please. Now, the next item in the agenda is the renewal of vows.
Before to the
So if other do not have other matters, so I have a second other matters because we will now identify the other matters before we will go into the proper or the business of the day. Our second concern or other matters is to be clarified if we will have the imamat today out of this year, or will eject, or a imamat which is sanctioned by the national and we will clarify the issue of if it is sanctioned or by the National Council. This second other matters will be taken the discussion after the business of the day, Mr. Chairman.
Well noted, and we are going to table that one during other matters portion of the business meeting. The next item in the agenda, all the orphans first to stand and recite the orphans' creed. Sis Princy, could you please have the honor to lead the recitation of the orphans' creed?
The Orphan's Creed. I am an orphan. Please raise your right hand. I am an orphan. Weak by the use of force. Yet strong enough to stand by your side. With my helping hand. Defender of human rights. Lover of peace and order. Treat me how you would consider. Yet you are still my sister. These good things are injected in my blood. When I join the orphanhood. Keep this and preserve it too forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Sis Princy. Now, I'm inviting all the knights to please stand up, and I would like to designate Brother Daniel to help us recite the Knight Creed.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I am a knight. Not an ordinary man as you may think. I am your friend. Defender of human rights. Lover of peace and order. You may consider me as your enemy. And yet you're still my brother. The fine treatment that I am showing to you is injected in my blood when I join the knighted. Preserve it too. And cease from stepping on my too. For grudges begins when maltreatment comes.
Thank you, Brother Daniel. Now, the singing of the fraternity and theme song. And I'm inviting everyone to please rise and join hands together. We have quick housekeeping for our fraternity song. I just wanted to emphasize, there's a tune that up until now it's not being carried. Being the one who firstly sang the song, I would like to introduce the right one for you. When we say, meeting good faces of knights and orphans, instead of meeting good faces of knights and orphans, it's meeting good faces of knights and orphans. Okay? It's instead of meeting good faces of knights and orphans, it's meeting good faces of knights and orphans. Okay?
Gawas
Ready? Ready, sing. Now the theme song, No Man is an Island.
No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy to me. Each man's grief is my own. We need one another. So each man has my brother, each man has my friend. I saw the people gather, I hear the music starts, the song that they were singing is ringing in my heart. No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man has my brother. Each man has my friend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, the next item of our agenda is, of course, the report of the Supreme Minister. As the music fades in 2014, and we hear a more pronounced bass line beginning to play in 2015, it is a time to listen and reflect on tune that we have carried and how the tune should change, or if it has changed. As we go into 2015 and beyond, as members of our beloved organization, Sigma Upsilon Upsilon Lambda, we should ask ourselves, are we satisfied with more of the same, or do we expect more? As we began in 2014, the course was familiar, but we had no idea what twists and turns that lay ahead. Nor did we know the challenges we would encounter as we strove to exceed the targets that we had set. With that being said, I am pleased to give you a recap of the following. We have created, of course, the SOUL 24/7 web portals in Facebook for members' exclusive use. Serves as the means of communication for our organization. This web page is still up and continuously running smoothly with the administrative effort of our chronicler Raglito Bindihito. This webpage portals is still running smoothly. Thank you, Raglito. Increased efficiency and effectiveness in SOUL operations. National Council will not simply come together for an election. In my leadership, I put emphasis on setting dates and times for meetings and events. With the state-of-the-art technology, National Council officers held and will hold meetings via teleconference or video conferencing on a regular basis through GoToMeeting, which monthly subscription is subsidized by me. The National Council has held 2 regular meetings in addition to the required meeting frequency of every quarter as mandated in our Constitution and bylaws, Article 5, Assembly. The financial status of our organization is improving, and I am pleased to report that our trust account balance is positive, not considering what is the account receivable or accounts payable rather from the previous administration. Our financial trust account balance as of today is positive. And you will hear more about it when our keeper of the king will report. Most importantly, for the very first time in the history of SOUL, the National Council has taken part in subsidizing and or financing its convention activities, such as this one. For the first time in the history of SOUL, National Council has taken part in financing this activity. Last year, I made mention about creating a policy, guidelines, and procedures in handling group financial matters. It is of public knowledge of what has been going on with our group's financial matter during the previous administration, which led into an issue. The proper way of handling and resolving any issue is to determine its root cause and find a solution to prevent the issue from recurring. Personally, I believe that the current issue at hand is somewhat attributed to lack of guidelines, policies, and procedures. As part of my target last year, such guidelines and procedure has been created and will be revealed later during this convention process. Creation of Soul website, which is now up and going. It has been our vision to have an outstanding fraternity and sorority that enhances the members' experience and is recognized locally, nationally, and globally for fraternal excellence. I believe for us to obtain worldwide recognition is to be transparent in the eye of the public. How are we going to do this? Simply by having our official website. Now I am very proud to inform each and every one of you that our official website is now created, up and running in full force, and ready for everyone to explore and enjoy. And with that, I would like to specially mention the hard work and dedication put forth by one of our dedicated members, Knight Michael Johnny Branzuela, being one of the administrators of this website, which we are going to unveil later on as we progress during this convention. So all in the community, in the past years, our community presence has expanded tremendously. We all strive in all possibility to have an extraordinary involvement. I am pleased to report that a number of our chapters have continuously participated in various community activities, such as street parades, tree planting, feeding project, orientation and reorientation, bloodletting within the respective chapters, and the Operation Tooling, jointly organized by Pi and Epsilon chapter as well. And I am commending the two leaders of the chapters, Rajeri Duarte and Radbibi Guadalupe, for joining forces, and of course, to the advisors. We have Sis Noreen here present with us today. Thank you. That's the most important thing. For congratulations for a job well done, particularly in uniting these two chapters. In the town of Bayugan, again, we continuously see Soul landmarks standing along the highway, and the Soul pedestrian painted on the streets of Opal Misamis Oriental. These are the signs that ever put up in Soul history. And once again, good job on all the efforts put forth by Alpha Omega and Alpha Beta Epsilon chapters. 4 more additional chapters were recognized this year. Alpha Chi Epsilon chapter of Pasig City, Alpha Gamma Rho chapter of the Molo and Kibawe, Bukidnon, Soul MQC chapter of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and Tau Beta chapter of Kidapawan City. To date, we have a total, as what Brad Tyler had said earlier, we have a total of 101 recognized chapters. Something to say though, out of these 101 recognized chapters, not even 50% of these chapters are in good standing. You know what I'm talking about? In good standing, for the chapters to be in good standing, you have to take the responsibility to pay your annual dues. Sad to say, not even 50% of these chapters are considered in good standing. So I am appealing to each and every member, especially to the leaders of these chapters, please make sure that you fulfill your obligation to the National Council, and that is to pay your annual dues of 500 pesos annually. The outpour of financial support from our generous members enabled us to help our brothers and sisters who have suffered emotional and financial loss during the Bohol earthquake and Typhoon Yolanda. First time in the history and during this administration, Sohol became the recipient of a large sum of money, $5,000, which is equivalent to 230,500 pesos, that was used to provide relief goods to the 600 families in Tanawan, Tacloban, Leyte, which were distributed personally by myself, my wife, the National Council People of the School, Sis Gina Tan, and one of the Royal Board members, Brad Erwin Vera, and of course the members in Moon Chapter. I personally visited two of our brothers in Capico who are currently serving time. That was such an experience for me, and I am sure Brad Marlon and Brad Erwin appreciated and will cherish the treasure at the time we spent with both of them. And I would like to acknowledge Brad Marlon's wife. She's here. Brad Marlon's wife, she's here supporting our event. Thank you, sis, for your presence. There has been efforts put forth by some of the members. I'm not going to mention names because I know who they are. Working on Brad Marlon's and Erwin's ultimate freedom. To this day, there has been positive development of these members' efforts. And I'd like to commend them for their initiative in helping our two brothers to hopefully get out of that place and enjoy ultimate freedom. Last year, I made mention about launching a scholarship program. I am very proud to inform everyone that such program is about to be materialized and will be unveiled later on during this convention as this convention progresses. Just last January of this year, the very first Supreme Night, Supreme Orphan Congress was held in Cebu City, represented by the Supreme Knights and Supreme Orphans. And one of the representation was Sis Raquel Galut. She's the only Supreme Orphan present. Thank you, sis. Thank you. The overall outcome of the activity was good, considering that it is the first time that we do something of its kind. I'd say there's definitely room for improvement. And we can certainly learn from that, what happened, and improve the next time around. This annual convention marks Sohol history. In 40 years of existence, this marks the second national annual convention ever held. And I would like to congratulate the host chapters in Region 11 for being part of that Sohol history. All of you from Region 11, please stand up and look yourself recognized. A job well done. Thank you very much for all the efforts. As we enter in 2015, the notes that was started playing will not be unfamiliar to us. We have new programs and we will be launching, which you will hear more later. Work on improvement of our membership quality and accountabilities. With all these efforts, these actions being taken, we will have a new and improved Sohol. As an organization, we expect this year to be better than the past year. And that should be music that we will be excited to play. However, this can only be attained if we'll work together and focus on what Soul is all about. We are proud members of this organization, and we all benefit from the long-term success of our organization. So I ask each of you in this room, do you want more? Yes. I want to hear that, more. Yes. Do we want more? Yes. More of the same, or do you expect more? Yes. I want some enthusiasm from the group. Do we expect more? Yes. Brothers and sisters, Soul is about core and conservative values and our local community. This is what we are known for, and will continue to gain more knowledge and recognition. Looking forward, we will have another busy year ahead of us. Our quarterly national go-to meetings, preparation for our founding anniversary, and of course, in 2016, we are going to have our Constitutional Convention. And possibly, we are going to combine our third National Annual Convention. I do not need to stress the importance of this event to you, but I can say how much I look forward to this event. Finally, my dear brothers and sisters, to my fellow National Council officers, to the event venue and preparation committee headed by Ms. Amy Castrodes, and to the event committee for administration, congratulations and thank you for all of your hard work. Brothers and sisters, you have chosen me to lead with vision and courage, to meet and exceed your obligations to excellence. Your chapter needs you, Soul needs you, this country needs you. I am honored to call each of you brothers and sisters. Good luck, Godspeed, and remember, there is no honor of mediocrity. Honor can only be obtained through excellence. God bless us all. Thank you. And again, the famous slogan, in unity we stand. Now I would like to hear from the body a motion to approve the Supreme Minister's report. If there's no discussion, I am asking from the body, from the group, a motion to approve the report of the Supreme Minister.
Mr. Chairman, motion for the approval of the report of the Supreme Minister.
Has been moved. Did I hear anybody second the motion? Cesar Burgos.
Alpha Omega would have the honor to go for second the motion for that purpose.
It has been moved and seconded that the Supreme Minister's report be approved. The next item of our agenda is the presentation of the minutes of the first National Convention. Brothers and sisters, unfortunately, we don't have the presence of our keeper of the school. So we are going to dispense the reading of the minutes from the previous convention. Yes, Brad Cesar.
I am moving for the dispensation of the presentation of the minutes of the first National Convention and approval of such. However, I would emphasize that matters arising from the previous minutes must be discussed, as we have less time to deal with this and we have wasted already 2 years of our time.
Did I hear somebody seconding the motion?
Second, the motion, Mr. Chairman. Derek Martin from B-Type Zero Chapter motion. Second motion, the motion of
It has been moved and seconded that the dispense of reading of the minutes from the previous convention due to the absence of the keeper of the scroll. However, there are some matters that needs to be discussed, and that's going to be tabled on other matters or issues and concerns.
Let me just refresh, baliko lang ako, no? While it has already been moved and seconded, I just would like to properly state it para maklaro na pagtalan that such presentation was made to dispense with the presentation of the minutes of the first National Convention and approval of such. Given the fact that our keeper of the scrolls is absent, however, matters arising from the previous meetings must be discussed because it has been 2 years now and there are things to be resolved and we do not want to waste 1 more year on this. Thank you.
Yes, at the back. Yes, Gracioso.
Since we dispensed the reading of the previous minutes, I move to approve the previous minutes, Mr. Chairman.
It's been dispensed. We don't have any minutes.
As stated by Ms. Gina, there was already, she submitted the Alpha and person of Ms. Laura, she given the USB. I presume that the minutes of that first convention is USB.
With due respect, Brad, that minutes is not available, so that's why we're calling for a dispense of that, reading of that minutes. It's not available.
Mr. Chair, can I have the floor to speak out, Mr. Chair?
Okay, yes.
I have the floor to speak out.
Yes.
Since it was already dispensed, the reading of the minutes, I have a suggestion that Sis Jonathan can have a written explanation of her absence, considering that this is
Already scheduled 1 year ago.
And Brad said so, for further explanation, I am not authorized to give any report in behalf of Sis Gina because I don't have any authority from Sis Gina. Thank you.
Okay, Sis Laura, to be out of order. We are going to discuss that during the issues and concerns. Brad Tyrone, you want to say something?
I would like to recommend to the Supreme Minister, in as much that he had already accepted that the minutes of the previous meeting be dispensed because of the absence of our keeper of the school. But the matters arising from the minutes that we want to be discussed, can we discuss that under the issues and concerns?
Why not?
To save time.
Brad Cesar, just to remind you, you have 2 minutes left.
Yeah, why not? Why not? So, sa other matters na tayo giduga, aside from katong i-approve kanina, bisay out tali para magklaro ta. Dili lang isa, duha na. Kanina, ang sa to, katong venue. Ang ikaduha, matters arising from the previous minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Cesar. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the presentation of the financial report. And I would like to invite our keeper of the key, Brad Woodsor Committee, to do the honor to do the financial report.
Good afternoon, Brad Sensis, the founder, I do is Prime Minister, Brad Pitt Among Representatives, the Prime Minister, Sarabi, Brad Api Asinas, Supreme Knights, guests, and others. Mayong hapon. This annual financial report is based on the financial statement presented using a single entry accounting method showing only the figures of revenue and expenses where the ground operates. The Sigma Epsilon Lambda internal control policy. First, this annual financial report, I should have Xerox this. It so happened na ang katungi ay i-favor na ako. Hangtod karon wala ko kabalik pa. So siguro there's some problem sa Xerox. So wala naman. So but I will assure you, I can furnish this copy kung pwede sa inyo tanan. But summary, sum up. The number one revenues is the collected deposit amounting to 6,500. Chapter annual dues is 60,300. The previous sponsors, previous sponsors 16,300. Chapter regular fees 500 and donations 3,000 pesos. CBL subscription fee 1,350. And non-collected funds. This donation amounting 59,441.98 was being given to Yolanda victims. This revenue was being taken to the effort of our Super Minister Pitt Among, and he was also gathered some reliefs given to all Yolanda victims rehabilitation amounting to 213,500. So the total revenues is 300,591.98. This deducted, the amount is being deducted to the expenses. So siguro hindi kayo kakuan sa inyo, but I will assure you, I will furnish this copy. So to sum up this one, the relief goods distributed to all members to Yolanda victims is amounting to 59,441 pesos. Relief goods given to Yolanda victims in Tanawan amounting to 120,000. Actually, this being audited based on last year by audit Malaysia also, but I just take it to report. Relief goods amounting to 16,500 given to kids who are victims also to Yolanda. T-shirt printing given to Tacloban Relief Mission crew members, 6,976. Relief mission supply for school supplies amounting to 3,669. The relief goods, 12 cabans of rice amounting to 26,400. and some trivia prizes amounting to 5,000. So the total expenses is 465,465.94. To sum up, based on the different chapters who directly deposited their annual yearly registration, we have a balance account forwarded to Sigma Upsilon Lambda account. This amount is still in the bank. The remaining is 38,182.20. But there's some account payables which is now, but they give 15,000 for this national convention. It's an advance payment. ID, I also pay some IDs to different chapters and we're not being deducted, amounting to 13,090. And some payables, the catering service offered by Sigma Upsilon amounting to 15,800. So the total expenses is 44,340, which is, we have a trust account balance as of now of 6,157. Now, brothers and sisters, I just want to acknowledge some of the chapters who pay, nagbayad sila ganina for this registration with the indulgence of our blood, but buong nagbayad siya for almost up to 2020 advance payment. Si Brad Bong o Alpha Omega, bayaran Uyugan. Another is Brad Knight Alvin Kadampo. He is the SK of Omega chapter, Butuan City. He also paid the 2 years registration. And the last but not the least, Brad Ibrahim Asinas, who paid 2 years. Omicron Cagayan de Oro. So, itong mga brothers and sisters nga different chapters. Kung notice to pay, kung medyo man, iguri lang ko, gusto mo bayad. So, that's all, brothers and sisters. Don't worry, after this, I will furnish this copy, this annual report. Pasirok lang na ako ni, and so that if there's some clarification, questions, nalaman ko dali, I will answer to that. After this, I will submit this annual financial report to Brad Ronel for the evaluation and some corrections siguro. So, brothers and sisters, thank you and good afternoon.
The financial report as reported. Yes, Ms. Quincy.
Does all the expenses have receipts?
That's a good question. Brad,
Policies all these expenses and I don't receive. But there are some, so happen, mayroon ditong I'll be honest to you because that's a good question. That's why I talk and call Sis Gina kasi mayroong iba dito na was given, cash given by Brad Pitt. Until now, she was not able to furnish me with it. So I must be honest with you. Thank you.
did that answer your question, Ms. Quincy?
Receipts must be submitted, sir. We have to require them.
Yes. There's all of this transaction. There's a receipt, some of them, but it's not the original or what do you call that? It's just an acknowledgement receipt. It's handwritten. All the expenses that I gave a certain amount to Sis Gina during the relief mission for her to because she's the only one here that do the buying and all that of the stuff, the material that we distributed to the Tanawan families. I have receipts of the transaction that I sent this amount to Sis Gina. That includes the travel expenses, all that, gasoline and all that. The receipt is just handwritten.
That is not an acceptable record, sir.
Good afternoon. Being your National Council Auditor, during the financial presentation held in Jinsan, I actually required Sis Gina to present all the documents. But until this time, around, shall I say, around 50,000, there is a receipt but not an official. Yes, it's true, I admit that that is not admissible, but for recording, we recorded actually the actual disbursement and subject for liquidation. And until today, we don't have yet the actual liquidation. But for disbursement, but for the recording, we did it. Only on the liquidation part. Okay.
Are there any more questions? Yes, Brett Caesar.
I cannot help but notice that we are jumping the gun on our scheduled discussions.
Yes.
Please look at our guidelines, everyone. Dapat i-approve sa NATO ang report sa atong prisoner. Tapos, katong question was actually related to the report of the auditor. Pero wag paganit ta makahuman niya na nag-discuss na ta sa merit sa audit. So, pardon me, my dear brothers, but I would like to make it a point that we are out of order.
Walang knowledge, Brad. So, with that being said, do I hear a motion to approve, moving to approve the financial report as reported by the keeper of the key? Hold on, please. Let me just give Brad Tyron the
I would like to recommend to the Supreme Minister that the presentation of the financial report should be focused on from April 10, 2014 to April 30, 2015. Because the report pertaining to the project Yolanda was already reported last first annual National Convention at General Santos City. However, that report was subjected to the presentation of liquidation because the auditor during the time found out that it was not the liquidation was not presented legally. Precisely the reasons that that particular issue would be presented during the issues and concern later on, because that's part of the minutes of the previous meeting. So I would like to request our Supreme Minister that the presentation of financial report by the keeper of the key should focus only from April 12, 2014 to April 10, 2015, because this was already approved as a matter of motion presented before the start of the meeting.
So, Mr. Chairman, if there is no objection, then I will move for the approval of the report of the
It has been moved and seconded that the report of the keeper of the key financial report be approved. Those who are in favor, please raise your right hand. In favor of the report, please raise your right hand. Could you please? It seems that it's a majority. For the record, I still would like to ask, for those who are not in favor, please raise your left hand. None. Motion carried. Next item in the agenda, the presentation of the audited report by the National Council on Internal Auditor. I would like to invite Brad Runel, our internal auditor, to make such presentation.
Thank you, Brad. My prime task is to examine the financial position, the veracity and accuracy of our financial transactions with, at the same time, to ensure the transparency of our organization. From April 2012, 2014, it has been reported, so I will go directly on the financial report as of today. As I examine all your financial transactions recorded and deposited in the PNB and Allied, PNB Allied Bank in what particular? In Kamuning, Quezon City. With the amount of 38,000, and as I observed, after payment of these accounts payable, as of today, our organization is operating on a deficit situation, and hope that everyone will settle its monthly dues and etc. So far, the trust account balance is 38, but subject for some payment. And the deficit is more than 6,000 pesos. So gamay na, kaya na kayo. Nagbayad na si Brad Luloy, wala na. Nagbayad na tatanan karon. Okay. So the single line item presented by Brad Gallite is accurate, and therefore I certify for its adoption. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Runel. Yeah, I hear anybody from the group, from the body, to move a motion for the approval of the report of the internal auditor.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the presentation of the audit report by the National Council.
Thank you for the motion, Ms. Laura. Do I hear anybody second the motion? Thank you, Ms. Rincy. It has been moved and seconded that the report of the internal auditor be approved.
I would like to request the Supreme Minister that next time around, during the next annual national convention, based on administrative parlance, all these reports, one, the minutes of the previous meeting, second, the financial report by the Keeper of the Screw and the Keeper of the Key, and the report of the auditor shall form part of the souvenir program during the next convention. For transparency's sake.
Well taken, Brad Tyron. And we are continuously improving. And this is our organization, part of our objective is it's an educational. And we continuously learn and try to improve. So rest assured, the next time around, the next convention, that matter is going to be taken care of. The next item of the agenda is the presentation of plans and programs, including budgetary requirements by the Supreme Minister. Everybody have a copy of the guidelines and procedures that's distributed earlier. I only made 60 copies, so if you don't have, please share it with other members. Just what I said earlier, for us to be able to really streamline our financial or handle our financial matter accordingly, we need to have a specific guidelines and procedures to follow. Now, this is specifically for the National Council on how to handle our financial matter. And such guidelines and procedure, I've created it. The purpose and scope, these guidelines and procedure includes and ensure the proper receipting, handling and recording of funds, cash, specific to the National Council. Responsibility, it is the responsibility of the keeper of the key to follow these guidelines and procedures. It is the responsibility of the Supreme Minister to ensure that these guidelines and procedures are adhered upon. Procedure 1.0, bank facility. 1.1, a bank account shall be established by the National Council to serve as the central depository account of all collections regardless of origin, nature, and amount. We already have that. 1.2, only the Supreme Minister and the keeper of the key shall be allowed to transact business with the account. 1.3, a passbook and a booklet shall be secured in safe by the keeper of the key and shall be made available to the auditor for audit. 1.4, bank reconciliation shall be performed on a monthly basis to ensure that all transactions were taken up in the accounting records of the National Council. 1.5, a monthly and annual report shall be issued by the keeper of the key to the National Council to maintain transparency on the financial condition of the Council. 1.6, financial reports shall be issued to all chapters to provide global information about the financial status of the group and remind each chapter of their obligation in terms of payment of the annual dues and other assessments due to the National Council. Procedure 2.0, collection of annual dues and other revenues. 2.1, payment of chapter's annual dues shall be made in accordance to the provision of the bylaws of the group. Annual dues must be settled on or before end of the first quarter of the year. 2.2, all payments shall be deposited directly to the bank account of the National Council. Payment made directly to any officer of the National Council shall not guarantee settlement of chapter obligation. 2.3, the Supreme Minister, keeper of the key, and keeper of the scroll shall be notified upon payment of annual dues and other assessments for verification with the bank and issuance of proper receipt. Payer should demand official receipt from the treasurer within 48 hours from the time payment is made. 2.4, the keeper of the key shall ensure that the annual due collection list is updated to determine the payment status of each chapter and issues notification of all delinquent accounts. 2.5, a statement of account shall also be issued by the keeper of the key to each chapter on an annual basis to provide them information of their compliance status. Procedure 3.0, disbursement from the fund. 3.1, the following pattern of risk segregation of duties shall be established in the disbursement of fund from the National Council. Of the Deputy Supreme Minister shall be obtained. Disbursement from the fund shall be made only on the basis of legitimate need or shall conform to provisions of the bylaws of the group. 3.4, advances or requests for personal use shall be strictly prohibited. 3.5, all disbursements from the fund shall be supported by valid receipts. On your next page is just a flow chart of the previous procedures that's already been read. It's just showing you the actual transaction. So that's just a flow chart. Where's the 3.6? Oh, 3.6, I'm sorry. The fund shall be audited on a semi-annual basis to ensure that collection and disbursement and properly accounted and financial statements are fairly presented. 3.7, audit findings shall be reported and discrepancies, if any, shall be resolved without delay. 3.8, an annual financial report shall be issued by the keeper of the key to the National Council officers and publish a copy of such report to all chapters to inform about the financial condition of the group. Notation, the above policies, guidelines, and procedures must be strictly adhered and is effective immediately upon approval. Do we have any question? Yes, Brad Caesar.
I would like to bring us to the matters of 3.3 3.3 disbursement from the fund shall be made only on the basis of legitimate need or shall conform to provisions by the bylaws of the group. May I request furtherance, kumbaga sa Bisaya ko na ito, palawman na ito gamay na yung legitimate need. If our Supreme Minister would kindly consider the fact that it should be delineated properly, nga dili siya mahulog nga sa panlantaw lang sa usa o duha ka tawo na properly guided ta. For example, how do you define legitimate need?
For
What are those
example,
legitimate needs?
legitimate need, for example, this convention, since Kevin requested that the National Council will provide 15,000 pesos to pay for the venue.
Okay.
That's
So,
a legitimate need.
okay. Therefore, Brad, ang ako lang ipangayo, wala akong question kung illegal na siya. Palawman lang na to. Kasi yan ang ako na kinanong kareklamo ng history. Palawman lang na to. Further na to, i-define, i-delineate. What are those legitimate needs? Kung mahimo, I'm asking your good consideration of the matter nga para sa ipaklaro pagid siya kanang i-black and white. Kasi pagkakaroon na nakita nato ang panginahanglan sa atong konbensyon. legitimate magilapinod. Basta sa uban po na kailangan legitimate, discussion na sa National Council para nga mas maklaro na po sa legitimate.
Thank you, Brad. In other words, it needs to be specified further. Okay, now I'm open for suggestion from the group. What is we consider legitimate need? Anybody? What do we consider legitimate need? Yes, Brad Caesar.
Since we are actually running out of time, ng certain atong oras, may I request the National Council to do the job on this? Yes. Kamo na lang, kay maguban magiging karong gabi ang problema, so that by tomorrow, kay kung kita tanan as the collegial body ang discuss na it might take us so many hours and we will not be able to finish it. Request na ko.
We'll take in, Brad. We'll take in. Now we'll give a floor to Brad Tyron.
Now the questions on the legitimacy of the expenditures, it should be based on the programs of activities of the organization, approved by the National Council.
Based on CBL.
Of course, the basis is the constitutional bylaws. But the question is the legitimacy. Now, legitimate expenditure should be based on the program of activities. In other words, approved program of activities, then there should be a corresponding budgetary requirement.
Actually, that's the reason nga nung nihangyo ko sa inyo, sa INSEAD. Because legitimacy cannot be, legitimate needs cannot be defined by one person but by the council itself as one. Ako lang yang yung ipaklaro lang ako sa tanan para nga diling ito na mag-ambak tayo from A to Z para nga ma-appreciate, begin to own the whole process, how we come about with the output or outcome. Pero that's the point. Wala namang expenditures kung walang plan na approve. And the planning group is of course the INSEE. That is why nga INSEE, akong yan yung nasabutan lang ninyo. Kaya kapag nga po na. Thank you.
Okay. So, we are going to further deliberate, the National Council is going to further deliberate this particular section on, what was that again, Brad? 3.3. So, may I hear somebody from the body to move a motion to approve this pending on the 3.3 subject for deliberation with the National Council? Yes, Brad Caesar.
As I said on Alpha Mega Chapter, we will coming from Alpha Chapter as well. I have the honor to move for adoption with the corresponding discussed improvements of the matter at hand.
Did I hear anybody from the group seconding the motion?
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
It has been moved and seconded that the guidelines and procedures as presented be approved with the further deliberation by the National Council on item 3.8. 3.3, sorry. Those who are in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Are we all sleepy? Seems like it's unanimously agreed, but for the record, those who are not in favor of the motion, please raise your left hand. Motion carries. The other group program that I'm going to present to you, just like what I said earlier during my report, is the scholarship program. It has been my desire to, and I'm very passionate to have a good education, and unfortunately, I was not privileged enough to have my parents to support me financially during my college years. So I'm very passionate to at least have that program, run that to deserving students. So just like what I said or indicated earlier and from the previous year, that I'm going to launch, or the organization is going to launch, the scholarship program. And to begin with, for us to do that, the initial stage is to create a committee, a working committee for this said scholarship program. To this day, I already have created the committee whose members are the following, chaired by our very own internal auditor, National Council, Brad Runeo Sodaria. His members are Sis Laura Paga, Brad Randy De La Serna, Ragino Gago, Sis Gladys Carlos, and Brad Michael Attorney Michael Macarayan. He is the legal officer of Central Mindanao University. Now, brothers and sisters, this program is going to be a pilot program for now. And we are going to start by having this program in Central Mindanao University. And our committee, working committee for this program, they already provided me guidelines. And I'm going to share it with you. Know all men by these presents. This agreement made and entered into by and between the Sigma Upsilon Fraternity and Upsilon Lambda Sorority, a non-sectarian and non-discriminating organization registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, number CN 2007-06628, and existed in different chapters in the Philippines and abroad, with the National Council as its national affairs, represented herein by Mr. P.C. Amamanpon, in his capacity as the Supreme Minister, herein referred to as Knights and Orphans. And the Central Mindanao University, a government institution of higher learning established under Republic Act number 4493, with principal office at University Town, Muswan, Marama, Bukidnon, and represented herein by its University President, Dr. Maria Luisa R. Sullivan, hereinafter referred to as the university. With this said, that whereas the Knights and Orphans desires to support two deserving students to enroll and finish an undergraduate course at the university and is allocating the required amount of funding to cover the tuition fees for the whole duration of the program. Whereas the university is willing and in fact accepts the above mentioned offer. Now therefore, for and in consideration of the above premises and their mutual covenants. Hereafter set forth the parties thereto have agreed as follows. Title and scope of the grant. This grant shall be known as the Knights and Orphans of CMU Scholarship Program and shall be open to regular third-year students who intend to pursue and finish a degree in any course offered in the university. 2. Objective of the scholarship program. The objective of this scholarship grant is to provide financial support to deserving students from a low-income family and who are already a bona fide member of Sigma Upsilon Lambda fraternity and sorority, to enable them to pursue and finish an undergraduate degree in tertiary education at Central Mindanao University. 3. General criteria of eligibility. A regular, active, bona fide member of Sigma Upsilon Fraternity Knights and Upsilon Lambda Sorority Orphans. B. A Filipino citizen residing in the Philippines. C. He or she must be of good moral character. D. He or she must be physically and mentally fit. E. He, she must be a regular third-year college student at the university with a general weighted average of at least 2.5. And F. He or she intends to enroll and finish an undergraduate degree in any course offered in the university. 4. Application and screening procedures. Do I still have your attention? Application and screening procedures. Applicants are expected to comply with the documentary requirements specified hereunder and submit them on or before the deadline set by the University Scholarship Committee, meaning those committee members that I just mentioned. Duly filled up scholarship application form, which is obtained and filed with the University Office of Student Affairs. Photocopy of certified, authenticated, true copy of birth certificate, NSO. 2. Provide 2x2 ID photo. Provide medical certificate. Certification from the Knights and Orphans as to the names of the 2 nominees and authenticated copy of the general weighted average as certified by the university registrar. Application be considered for the first semester of the school year 2015 and 2016. Interview and final selection will be conducted by the University Scholarship Committee following the general criteria of eligibility. The university shall advise the Knights and Orphans in writing regarding the selection process, as well as the name, address, and the selected course of the screened candidate. The university shall also notify in writing the successful applicant of his/her selection. Now, obligation of the scholar. The grantee is expected to comply with the following conditions for him/her to maintain and continue enjoying his/her scholarship grant until graduation. A. Must pass all subjects and maintain a GWA of at least 2.5 without a grade of 5.0 in any subject. B, must be enrolled in a regular number of subject courses offered during the semester and should not be less than 15 units per semester. C, must not shift to any other course or transfer to another school. D, in case of failure to meet the required average, and appeal with her case with an endorsement of the dean of the college. E, must finish the course within the prescribed curriculum period. F, must inform the scholarship committee of the other scholarship grants from any other institution